I'd like to take a moment to chat about the one thing that stuck out to me that I'm not sure anybody else is talking about. The conversation early in the offseason was the plethora of quarterbacks that are going to be finding new homes. Those quarterbacks were rather unsuccessful yesterday, believe it or not. Was it because of the lack of OTAs or the lack of the ability to get together in large groups due to a worldwide pandemic? Or was it because it just naturally takes some time to build up a rapport in a new setting? Tom Brady, who will forever be judged on how he does in Tampa without old Billy Belichick, takes an L yesterday. Throws 2 picks in the process, one of which was a pick 6, and Bruce Arians, the head coach, said both were his fault, and it was apparently he and his team weren't on the same page. Yet Joey Burrow, new home, back home in Cincy, loses but was incredibly impressive in the process. Phil Rivers, $25 million a year with the Colts, throws 2 picks yesterday in a loss to a team that everybody on earth thought was tanking. They're bad picks too. I would assume both his fault, but they're not on rapport yet. Teddy Bridgewater, new home in Carolina, takes an L. A lot of folks are saying they should have given the ball to Christian McCaffrey on that 4th and like a half yard, but I'd like to take a moment to think about whether or not their previous QB would have picked that up. Speaking of that previous QB, he was the only one who had a new home who got a win yesterday. He was also with the team that he got a win with for the shortest amount of time. He was also the one who had less than 20 pass attempts, and he was the only one who was turned down by all of those other teams, all of them. Could have had Cam Newton, they decided not to. Bill Belichick proves yet again that he's the best coach to ever coach football. All those other QBs are great. They all got paid much more than Cam, and we assume they'll all get it figured out with their respective teams and their respective offenses. But if we were to ask before the weekend, if only one quarterback that has a new home was to win this weekend, which one would it be? I'm not sure how many people would have said Cam Newton, but that man was unemployed for 86 nights, and he ended up in the only place that knows how to win games no matter what. Cam looked unbelievable. Now, every other team that paid their new quarterback much more money than Cam has to sit in a meeting today and go, damn, Bill Belichick did it again. Cam Newton is one of the 5 quarterbacks that have a new home that got a win yesterday. The other 4 lost, and a lot of people are saying it's their fault. It's going to take a while to build up a rapport. We all understand that. Cam Newton goes 15 of 19 with 1 drop from Julian Edelman. Then there's a little bit of an exchange. Cam Newton, after the game, says that they were trying to yank his chain, break his chain. Then he goes and does his interview. You hear Bill Belichick do a classic post-game press conference about what the games remind him of practice, and they moved on. What are you hearing about New England? Because today, everybody's like, well, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. What's the word out of that building today? I would assume they've got to be thrilled. And I assume we haven't even kind of tasted what they're going to do with Cam Newton for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a little bit of a glimpse of it. And, it's weird. Like, look, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. So I don't mean to say the Patriots were looking to move away from Brady. They were certainly not. But I have always kind of felt in my gut that the Patriots wanted to embrace some of the newer concepts of the NFL, basically what college has been doing, with running quarterbacks, with creating favorable matchups, fun with numbers, all the sorts of things you get to do if you can have a quarterback who can really run and kind of be smart doing it. The kind of ball handling things that Cam does, making the defender read, taking the ball out. Dak does a great job in Dallas too. I mean, these are the kinds of things that I really feel like the Patriots have wanted to do for some time, but because they had the greatest quarterback ever, they have not been able to. That was a really fun and interesting thing to see. I don't know why it's not sustainable. I mean, aren't we past that where we say, like, oh, this running quarterback is going to get hit eventually? There's like 10 of them who are dominating the NFL right now. Like, at some point, you got to say, all right, like, this is probably here to stay.
Yeah, and the people that say that are stupid. Dan Orlovsky and other people like that. I mean, they've been saying it for a long time, and it's true. Every quarterback is one bad hit away, I guess, from being done. But those quarterbacks that just go ahead and park it in the pocket, they also get their knees run up on as well. I mean, Cam Newton is just a different level human at this point, and he's playing great. But I think the Patriots, to your point, saw what Lamar Jackson was able to do with them last year against them, and they kind of went into that whole thing